Okay, welcome to the L Perspective. I'm Al Black.
And I'm Jennifer.
Okay, you're almost right on with this one. Getting closer and closer.
I can hear myself now.
So now it's easier to be right on point.
Yes.
All right, so let's get right into it today. I'm trying to make them about a half an hour and short and sweet. So what I want to talk about is taboos. The two taboos I want to talk about. The very first one I want to talk about is sexuality.
Okay, let's go.
So in sexuality and stuff like that, a lot of people don't want to talk, honestly about what they like, whatever proclivities they like in the bedroom.
Okay.
Like, me personally, I love booty.
Okay.
And that's one of my proclivities, but I don't mind saying it. What's one of yours?
Wow, this is a deep departure from our usual topics. I definitely like a man who can be assertive and aggressive, and who can take charge. Yeah, I definitely, that is definitely something that will always turn me on for sure. Someone who's aggressive, I would say.
Okay, I see you're going to keep it really PG because you don't see it's so taboo. You don't even want to talk about it.
And this is probably very accurate.
Because you don't know who's listening.
You don't know who's listening, and I definitely am very cognizant of the image, I guess, that I put out there, and the perception of myself, for sure, 100%. But that being said, I have made a promise to you to keep it real as your co-host. So I will try. I will definitely try. But you spring these topics on me. I absolutely there would have not been any pre-approval of this topic had I known. But go ahead. Let's chat, shall we? This is not the one that I'll be sharing on my Facebook.
Well, you haven't said anything, so you actually could share it.
This is true.
I mean, there's a double standard when it comes to sexuality anyway.
100%.
Because I've heard you say, like, that you would date a guy who fucked with another man before.
I would, but I am probably one of the very few women who will say that, much less one of, I would assume, few black women who would say that they would be okay with dating, being in a relationship, engaging a man who's been with another man. I just don't have a problem with it. My problem, or I should say, not a problem. My thing is faithfulness. Who you're with before me or after me, I don't really care about. It's who are you with while you're with me that I have a problem with. So if a man is bisexual or has had a homosexual experience in his past, I really don't care about that as long as he's faithful to me 100% and monogamous with me during the course of our relationship. Now, if he goes back to men afterwards, I don't really care. But during the course of our relationship, yes, I would expect monogamy and whatnot. But that's just me.
Would you have a threesome with the two guys?
I think it's one of those things that in theory it sounds amazing. It sounds great. I don't know if in practice it would be something that I would be into. Just because I'm really, I need a relationship in order for there to be intimacy. I need there to be, so just, having these like one-off type sexual experiences really, they don't excite me. They don't do anything for me. So in theory, it sounds great. I doubt if in practice it would ever be something I would be into.
Yeah, my fantasies are definitely one dick fantasies. Only my dick is the only one that stars in my fantasy.
Okay, I can dig it.
So I definitely wouldn't be down with that.
Okay, I can dig it.
The gay thing too. Nothing against gay people at all. But I don't know. There's a weird taboo when it comes to that. I dated a girl who actually was bisexual. Mm-hmm. I was cool with that. Actually, I wanted to join them and shit. I was like,
But see, I think that's the fallacy. I think that people always think that, if I date men, especially when they date a woman who is bisexual, they think that it's going to be a threesome free for all, and that there's just going to be like this sexual buffet. But the vast majority of people who are bisexual are still monogamous. They're not just having threesomes all over the place. They're engaging with their partner and not their partner and. Sorry.
You just ruined, my whole fantasy. My fantasy is Beyonce, Rihanna, me.
Sorry. Sorry to let you down.
Maybe a little Nyanga, thrown in there.
Just for good measure.
Just for good measure. That's my fantasy.
Okay, great.
Then I can die.
Okay, more power to you.
No, I'm joking. But not really. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but again, you said like in theory or in your mind, it seems like it would be something cool, but in real life, probably wouldn't be as cool as.
And I think that's the thing, especially, the things that you might see or things that people might talk about. They seem great. I mean, I have a friend, and she recalled an experience where she was with two men to me. And when she was talking about it, I was just like, first off, I'll never look at you the same way again. Thanks for sharing. But
judgment, some
a little judgment. But then also too, when she's recounting the story, even she was saying it wasn't as hot as she thought it was going to be. It wasn't as exciting, even though all of the attention and whatnot was focused on her. It still wasn't as hot as what she thought it was going to be. She said it was good, but not this over the top, crazy. My freak number is 1,002 fantasy.
A friend of mine told me a very similar story where she had sex with two guys and it didn't mean anything to me. Yeah. If she had sex with two guys after we had sex or something, then I guess I would feel different about it. But like, because like after I have sex with a woman, then I feel like
she's ruined for all of their men.
Not that she's ruined for all the men, but like I feel a little bit of ownership. Like that's like mine for right now.
For right now or forever?
No, not forever. I mean, okay. It is what it is. Yeah, there's definitely some like even a little bit after you're like, that's kind of mine.
Yeah, which I like that. I like when a man that's how he views his woman. Like she's
not ownership of
not like, ownership, but like that's mine. Like I don't know if we referenced this in the last podcast, but I know we've had this conversation about Dwayne Wade.
Yeah,
how he Gabrielle Union posted this photo on Instagram, and one of his teammates commented like, "Damn." And
former teammates.
Oh, former team. Sorry, I don't follow basketball. But one of the teammates was like, "Damn," and he was like, "That's mine." You know what I mean? And that's hot. That's hot, I think.
You want a guy to like fight over you or something?
Not necessarily fight, but I definitely like the proclamation, the proclaiming, the publicness. I find very attractive and very, very sexy.
I don't know. There's a weird thing with me with like, if you tell me about something that happened well before I was even in the picture, I don't really care. I don't see it. But if you tell me about having sex with somebody, or I think you're having sex with somebody after you had sex with me, or very close after, then I feel like now it's kind of ruined it.
That's interesting, because I think that most men definitely place most women in either the Madonna or the horror category. And if they know too much about your past, that can definitely have a detrimental effect if it's not measuring up to whichever category that they've placed you in. If they've placed you in the potential wife, relationship, girlfriend category, and then you expound about your freaky college days, that can turn a lot of men off. Or vice versa. If they've put you into the she's just a jump off category, and you're like, oh, but I'm a virgin, or oh, but I've only ever been with one serious boyfriend, then that kind of turns them equally off. And that's at least been, what I've heard from girlfriends and whatnot.
Well, it's not so for me. I mean, people do what they do, like how you carry yourself now is important to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I like what you did in the past. I can't hold it over your head that you were getting wild in college,
And that's and like I said, that's kind of the way I feel. I feel the most important thing to me is what's going on during the course of the relationship that I'm in with that person versus what they did before me or frankly even after me. But how are they during the actual course of our relationship? That's the most important thing to me. Absolutely, 100%.
Because I view them differently now. Now that like if like an ex-girlfriend of mine tells me about her sexual exploits, I judge it differently than before she was with me.
That's like how so? Like she shouldn't be sexual after you?
No, not that she shouldn't be sexual, but like how many dudes is she fucking? Now it's important. Now it becomes more apparent to me and more important. That's because anybody you date, because everybody you date, there's always potential that you all could get back together. But if then after you, she's out there like really throwing it down, then that it never can come back.
I guess
because I judge it differently now that we were together, not before. I can't judge it before.
And I don't view any of my past relationships as
you never think about getting back together.
I never think about getting back together. Yeah, so go ahead, you go and you have as much fun as you want to go because you're never coming back here.
I mean, most of the time they're never coming back, but there's always that possibility. But then if I hear that. If I kind of think or feel that they're out there really, then I'm like, well, that door is closed now.
But
for sure, forever.
But then you're not closing your own door by moving on with your life? Like, what if your ex is viewing you in a similar manner? Like, oh, well, I can't get back with him because he's been with all these other women since me. Or is that the double standard?
You might have touched upon a double standard.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be out there doing that anyway.
Huh. That's interesting. Okay. You wouldn't be sexual with another woman if you thought there was a potential of getting back with an ex from 10, 15, 20 years ago?
No, we ain't talking about 15, 20 years ago. I don't even know that.
2 years ago.
I wouldn't be sexual with another woman. What do you mean? I would be sexual with other women. I'm just saying that it's the amount of women that I would be sexual with.
Oh, okay.
It's a frequency. It's not like, I had a couple women here and there, but if I have having like 5, 10, 15 different women in that time.
Okay.
Oh,
I see what you're saying.
Like, come on, like one night stands and doing all kinds of crazy shit.
But what if she needed those one night stands, jump offs, whatever you want to friends with?
Nah, she's made some bad decisions in her life
in order to get over you. No, okay.
I'm definitely not. Definitely not with that.
Just checking. Because
for me, and I'm the one being honest in this whole situation because you're definitely holding back.
I'm not holding back. Now I'm not holding back. But go ahead. I was holding back about my.
You are holding back, but
okay.
But for me, I don't really add new people very often. It's not often that I add a new person into people that I sleep with. I'll sleep with people I've slept with before. At least there's a level of trust. I kind of know what kind of person they are. I kind of they have a past and I know their past to some degree.
Absolutely.
I've heard about their sexual history.
Yes.
I know that they've been out there testing, getting tested for venereal diseases and things like that. So I have a kind of baseline, I know what kind of people they are.
Yes.
And I kind of know what they're doing. And then I'll go back there. But if, like I don't add a bunch of new people. I'm not the kind of person to be like, go to the bar and just have a one night stand with some random girl.
Not.
That rarely happens. I used to do this thing where I used to go to every wedding and score, but I've since stopped doing that, but I used to do that. That was something I did.
Yeah.
In my younger days.
Yeah. But I definitely agree with you about not adding new people for sure. Especially, after you get to a certain point, you just, for me in particular, I definitely, don't want anything but monogamy. I definitely don't want, a one night stand or a friend with benefits. To me, there's no point in even having that first encounter if it doesn't come with monogamy.
I guess like again for me it's a little bit different. I mean, with I'm definitely not having one night stands, but even if I went and had like a relationship with somebody who was just like a booty call type thing, that booty call could always turn into something more significant later on, because my booty call would be with somebody I already know.
Okay.
It's not going to. My booty call has never been with somebody who's
just a random.
Nobody's ever random. Yeah, nobody's really
yeah.
ever random, really.
Yeah.
In that respect, I mean, except for the very first time, maybe you had sex with that person, but then you're a little more careful about what you do.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like feel the person out and see where things go and see what kind of person they are. I mean, it's all a risk. But
absolutely.
But the risk is minimized if you kind of get a chance to really know somebody and you're not just jumping in really quick.
And see, I've in the course of my life, I've never had a booty call, or I've been in some situationships, but I've never had a booty call.
Never a one night stand?
Never a one night stand. Nope, not once.
Never first date sex?
Trying to think. I have had first date sex, but
so that's like a one night stand.
No, because by the second date we were in a full blown relationship. Like even on the first date, he was talking about like, I want to be with you, and
yeah, but was that the first time you were meeting him on the first date?
I mean, we had talked, like, I guess on the phone for a minute. Went out on a first date, but granted, it was one of those first dates that lasted multiple hours. We probably were on hour 12 before we like hooked up or whatever. And like I said, by hour 6, he was talking about like, oh, I really want to be with you. Like this is my last first date. He was telling all that kind of stuff. And then, by hour 12, by this course, by that time we had already been on like, let's say 3 dates or whatever, because we had spent so much time together and had done so many activities together. That is the one time that I have had first date sex. But like I said, the second date we were like he was like, I don't want to date other people. I only want to date you. So we were in an exclusive relationship, date 2.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had straight just one night stands. Met you, boop, and had sex with the person,
and never saw them again.
Wow.
See, that is definitely a guy thing.
I don't even know how many times
I wouldn't
happened.
say that's a guy thing, but that's more typical with men than with women.
Maybe 3 or 4 times. I don't know.
Oh,
maybe if that in my life. Maybe
okay.
The wedding thing. The girls I had sex with at a wedding, I never saw them again.
Huh. Even though that's interesting, because you would think that you have mutual friends and that you would bump into them again.
The very last time I did it, no, I knew the girl, so it wasn't a one night stand because I had knew her for a long time.
Okay, yeah.
And that was the only time. But
I've never hooked up at a wedding. Never, not once.
Well, like I said, it's
not
something,
even like a kissing the cute, groomsmen in the coat closet type thing. Like nothing. Like I've never met anyone at a wedding. I've never hooked up at a wedding. Nothing.
Well, a little tidbit about me actually is that I'm the dude at the club, at the event that actually does kick it, and I eventually end up getting more hookups because I actually do put in effort. Like I have friends that score and I probably have sex more, but I actually could potentially score more than them because I shoot more.
It is a numbers game.
It's a numbers game.
It definitely is a numbers game.
And it's sport. It used to be sport for me. So I'm the dude at the club that kicks it to all the girls. And I mean, I'm serious. I'll go
without any discernment or without any.
No, I mean, I gotta be cute. But
okay, so just like every cute girl that's breathing.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll just kick it. And the girl did, get out of here. Okay. Go on next one. So what's up? Oh, I don't know. I got a boyfriend. Okay. Next one. It was a sport for me. So I would just do it. And that's why I could potentially score more.
Huh.
But then some of my friends would have more sex anyway.
Okay.
Because it just was sport for me. Sometimes I would score off of my own assist, basically.
Okay.
I was throwing alley-oops to myself, basically. And I would score off of those. But I'm that dude. I remember going to weddings. I remember like really like I'm gonna score tonight and getting focused on that.
So then what's has stopped that? You know, like if you were to go to a wedding now, what stops you from
age maturity, and I'm just in a different place in my life.
Okay.
I'm not trying to do what I did,
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
And the last time I scored wasn't 20 years ago, but
no, I'm not saying that it was. Yeah.
But I'm just not trying to do what I did.
Yeah.
And then some of them are also by accident. They're not by accident. I didn't just fall into the vagina. It's not like I just fell into the vagina. Ooh. No. Oh, but sometimes I'm not even trying to kick it. It just ends up happening that way. Yeah. It just ends up happening.
I definitely have had those type of situations. Years ago, I remember being. I used to work for a Jewish community center, and we were having a Jewish educators conference. So what a hip crowd that was, and. So like, all these young 20-something-year-old women. And so we 3 or 4 of us march off to a bar, and we're at this bar, and it happens to be the National Astronomers Convention. Again, hip bunch of young men.
Sounds like a place you really can't score,
but if there's one thing I know for sure, there is almost nothing sexier than a black astronomer. Because we're talking about just a huge nerd. And so, of course, I'm one of the few, let's just keep it real. I'm the only black person with the Jewish Educators Convention group. And he's one of maybe 2 black astronomers. And, we start talking and whatnot. And I'm like, this guy is really dope and he's really cool. And, some little drunken make out in the bar type situation, but that was not my intent. My intention was not even to remotely holler and I'm never the aggressor. I'm never the woman who's going to go up and flirt with a man that I find attractive or whatever, but the stars aligned that night, so to speak. And it was a great night. That was just kind of interesting, and one of those like moments that you kind of look back on 15 years later fondly. Not a one night stand, just yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. I have this this way about me that sneaks up on a lot of women, and I've been told over the years. So like. I'll be sitting with a bunch of women and we be talking and they be like, Lawrence is okay. And then as I get to talking to them and they get comfortable with me, they be like, Lawrence is kind of cute. And that's my game, is the lack thereof game. And I end up scoring just when I say by accident, is that you get super comfortable. Yeah. Just by being me and being comfortable. I'm never hard up. That's what it is. Even when I'm focused, I'm never hard up. So that changes everything.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's I don't even know if it's that. It's when you are sitting and talking to someone. For me, anyway, what their personality makes them more attractive. So when you first walk into the restaurant for a date, you think, oh, this guy, he's cute. But then the more you talk to him over the course of the night, you're like, oh, he's really smart and he said something that's really feminist and righteous and those things start to make him more attractive. So that way, by the time you get to the end of the night, you're like, oh God, please kiss me, please kiss me, please kiss me. And then when he finally does, you're just like, oh, this is everything. And even though you might not have walked into the restaurant thinking, oh my God, this guy is fine, or this guy is so hot, by the end of the night you walk away thinking that, because everything about him has made him more attractive.
That's what my appeal is, not to my own horn, but that's my appeal is that slow burn. It's not like instantaneous sometimes. I mean, it is sometimes, but other times it's just like that slow burn, like because I am that comfortable and I am that confident within myself, and I'm never really, like trying that hard, but I am trying that hard. So like when I'm putting on the press is really just me like talking to you and really communicating with you, I really pay attention. I'm looking for the signals and the signs and the things, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's all, like I said, in the end of the day, it was all a game for me. But now as I get older and stuff like that, like it's not really a thing that I'm focused on anymore.
What's the thing that you're focused on?
Well, you know, I've said to anybody I was dating during the time is that I was trying to get married this year. You know, I don't know what's going to happen when the end of the year is approaching.
It's September.
But I don't know. Be honest truth. I don't know what's going to happen by the end of the year.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a goal. It was something I said out loud. Maybe I shouldn't have said it out loud, but it was something that I made clear to anybody I was dating during the time.
Yeah.
So I basically told everybody, either if you're in.
You got to be in. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not, you know, walk away now.
Yeah.
Know that this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why my focus and things have changed a little bit for me.
Interesting.
You know.
So, you've got 3 months until the end of the year.
Okay.
No, I'm just, you know.
What do you? Okay, but I don't even understand. Like, what are you saying?
I mean, does that make you hyper focused over the next? No. Okay.
No, because it's something you can push. Just like I said, my game is the lack thereof game.
Okay.
This is something you can push. Either it's going to be right or it's not going to be right. And that's just it.
So you're not like, it's not like, oh, I have to do this. It's just, this is
well,
you
can't push marriage.
No, you can't push marriage. But I think a lot of people, when they do set goals for themselves, they have to accomplish them. And if they don't, then it's like a complete failure.
Yeah, but I also put a goal to make a certain money amount. I haven't made that either. And I push to try to make that. It's just not some things you don't meet your goals.
Yeah, this is true.
You try. I'm sure you've been on some goals that you tried and you failed.
Absolutely, 100%.
And people could say, well, what are you doing to make those goals happen? I've done a lot of stuff actually to make those goals happen.
Right. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing.
A lot more than people think.
Yeah.
But.
And that's the most, like, I was recently doing some goal setting with some students, and that's the most important thing. The most important thing is, you know, to have an idea that you turn into a goal, and then to have a goal that you turn into a plan. And that you have to have a plan. So if your goal back in January was to get engaged by the end of the year, to make sure that you're creating those action steps to get you to that goal. And if you've done that, that's just as significant as the actual accomplishing the goal.
I mean, because you know, I've talked to several females, and everybody knows where
women.
I'm at.
Can we women?
Women.
I know I hate when men refer to women as females, but that's another podcast. Go ahead.
Okay. Women.
Yes, thank
Black
you.
women.
Yes, thank you.
You know, a lot of them ain't ready to get married. They think they're ready to get married, but they ain't ready, and they're not definitely marriage material for me.
So where's the disconnect between them being ready? No? Okay.
What?
No, I'm just asking, where's, like, because I personally think that I'm ready to get married, but there are a lot of ways that I see that maybe perhaps I'm not ready to get married. So I wonder, I can see for myself where there is some disconnect, but I'm wondering, what is your perception for the disconnect between women who say that they're ready to get married and actually being ready to get married? Is it that they're too comfortable in their singleness? Is it that they're that they're not good if they're not good wife material?
Yeah.
And then what that means and what that okay.
Yeah, I'm saying to all that.
Okay.
I mean, it's that a lot of women have been single too damn long and they're comfortable. You know, I was talking to a friend one day and I was saying, you know, if you want to attract a man, stop wearing, you know, warm up pants all the time to regular functions. Dress nice, because I don't want my wife out there looking half ass. You going to the gym? Go to the gym in your workout in your workout clothes, but don't go to the store in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I'm looking for in my wife.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
You know, keep a decently clean house. Mm-hmm. You know, cook, be home. Do what you got to do to handle your business, handle your money a little bit better, decent credit. I'm just saying some basic ass shit.
Yeah.
But you know, most women I was dealing with, bad credit, dirty houses, don't dress right. Like, you ain't ready for no marriage.
Interesting.
And then also you got to fit into somebody's life. And a lot of people's lives, I can't see myself living in their world, in their chaos.
Okay.
You go in a lot of people's world, their world is chaos.
I definitely.
You walk in their house is dirty. Mm-hmm. They're all over the place. They're never home. They're running around. They're doing this, doing that. They don't have no time and no space in their life for even you.
Okay.
You don't even fit in there. We're going to sit in their dirty house and wait for them to get home.
Okay.
And they bring home takeout every night. And maybe my things are a little bit different because, I see my mother come every night and cook.
Yeah. And I will agree with you on that. Like I was saying this the other day that I said one time when I was, I don't know, maybe I was 15, I said to my dad, I think one of the problems that I have with dating or whatever, having boyfriends, like my friends having boyfriends at the time, maybe I was older, maybe I was 19, is because I think that him and my grandfather set the bar so high for what I should expect out of a relationship, what I should expect out of a man. And my dad said to me, he said, you can't, it's great that you have these high expectations, but you're going to find somebody who's even better than I am. I think you're going to
find somebody different. I mean, your father grew up in a different time, a
very different time, very
and
different
how
era.
things were. But I mean, are you the person your grandmother was?
And that's what I've said to a lot of men. Like these men want these old school throwback wives, but you're not an old school throwback man. Like it's great that you want to come home to a hot dinner and all that business. But my grandfather put 8 kids through college, being the sole breadwinner in the family.
But he probably couldn't even do that in this day and age.
No, he definitely couldn't do that. He built his house by hand, built his home by hand, was a pillar of the community, all of these things. And my grandmother had hot dinner and sewed and did all those wifely things. But, you can't expect a throwback woman if you can't be a throwback man.
No, I'm just expecting what my mom was.
No, I'm not saying you.
And is, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But no, and I kind of agree with you. And that's one of the things that a lot of men kind of can't reconcile with me is, they say, well, how do you call yourself a feminist, but you also expect traditional gender roles within the context of your personal relationships? And for me, it's very easy, because that's what I saw in my parents. My dad will never admit to being a feminist at all, but he is super feminist. Like he definitely, especially when it comes to me, you know what I mean? Wants nothing but equality and equity for me and my life, and wants me to have access to anything that anybody else would have access to, and is a huge feminist when it comes to the women in his life. And, and therefore, because of those experiences and what he wants for the women in his life, that kind of trickles down to all women. He'll never say I'm a feminist by any stretch of the imagination. But my dad wouldn't eat if my mother didn't cook, and that's what I saw. And that's what I want to provide for somebody in my life.
But how does that, this may be for another podcast because we're almost just about out of time.
Okay.
I mean, but how does that make him a feminist?
No, I'm not. Because I think a lot of people, they don't want to realize that all being a feminist is that you believe in, the political and social and economic equity for women. People want to equate being a feminist to being like this angry man-hating woman, and that's not at all what it is.
See, I didn't even really, and this is definitely another podcast, but I didn't even really know what a feminist was per se, and I did think she was a lesbian with hairy legs who was like, I hate men. Oh,
no, because
for a while.
And that's what I will say.
My message has evolved.
You are very feminist, 100%. Sorry, I just took all your big macho male street cred, but you are very feminist.
And in what respect? So explain it to me. I'm gonna give you a couple. You have another minute. Maybe.
I will say, if you go back, I don't know if you actually ever put this podcast out, but the one that we talked about, Aziz Ansari and the whole Me Too movement and whatnot. A lot of the things that you were saying, very feminist, and that I definitely feel as though you definitely strongly believe in equity for women, and it probably would be even more so if you had a daughter. But just from how you treat the women in your lives and the expectation that you have for the women in your life, very feminist. Sorry, I'm taking all of your big macho male street cred.
You are. This is definitely a different podcast. But I'll tell you a really quick story that made me see things very, very different. Mm-hmm. A good, very, very close friend of mine was going for not even promotion, to get equal pay, basically,
yes,
with her male colleague who's doing the same fucking job.
Yes.
She come to find out this dude's making $20,000 more than her and doing the same exact shit with the same level of education.
Crazy.
I was like, what the fuck? So so, okay, even worse. So she goes to her boss to basically be like, what the hell? You know,
Yeah.
Can I get a pay raise or whatever? And no, he says to her, well, can't your parents help you?
No.
Oh, I was so hurt.
Oh, God.
I was so mad for her.
Yes.
I was like, because he would never say that shit to me.
Never.
Because I'd punch him in his shit.
Never.
Like, who the fuck are you talking?
Never. Because if anything, he would say to you, oh, well, you know, you have a family, you know, like usually, you know, you need to be the provider and all that kind of stuff.
That was some straight sexist shit.
Oh,
and it was so glaring to me. And I felt so bad for her that she had to put up with this. And we mounted a strategy to get the more money. She ended up getting the $10,000 more money, and then I'm losing her job anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the fucking point?
But that experience has probably taught her a lot about negotiating, about, you know, getting what she's due, and the fact that she even went in there and negotiated to get more money is definitely needs to be applauded, because most women would would have been like, oh, well, at my next job, I'll try and get more money.
Absolutely. All right, so let's bring this full circle.
Okay.
I do believe that women and men should have, you know, the same. But I also believe that sexuality, going back to full circle, yes, should be that shouldn't be so taboo to talk about it. And if a woman wants to sleep with 25 men, that's fine. Because if a man slept with 25 women, he'd be the man.
Oh, I definitely.
If a woman slept with 25, you know, dudes, she'd be a hoe.
Yeah.
And I'm even trying to work that out in my brain right now. As she's not a whore. She's not a whore. I got to keep telling myself that, because society kind of dictates that.
Yeah.
And I understand she's not. I'm just saying that there's some part of my brain that's kind of like, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. It's
a work in progress. Always a work in progress.
It's an evolution, as Barack Obama would say.
And on that, Alan.